All right, so we have started the ride back, the return trip from the theme park, and I don't, for some reason, this time I decided to go to a seat somewhere here. And I just sat by myself, and girls are funny. A lot of girls. There's so much I've learned since then. I can share now that I didn't become aware of till later. A lot of girls, when they see you with a girl, then they're interested. They want you. But when you're by yourself, they don't. So I'm sitting here by myself. I guess I got to the bus a little early, and this other girl I'd never seen her before, kind of cute. She sits next to me, although she could have sat anywhere. Number seven and her girlfriend had not gotten onto the bus yet. I don't know how we lost track of each other. And I could tell it was very obvious the girl next to me was trying to engage me in conversation. She was very sweet, very nice. Like she wasn't like obviously flirtatious, but she was definitely trying to get my attention in a nice way. But I wasn't interested. I only had eyes for number seven. But I wasn't rude or anything. I was nice to her. We chatted, and then eventually number seven comes in and her girlfriend, and I did notice that she looked at me and also looked at her, and then sat down. And sometime during the trip, very early on, it's a long bus ride home, there was some gesture made. I don't remember the details. Somehow she got me to get up, and I think obviously everybody on this bus knew who spent time with whom. So the girl, I guess there was a competition again. Uh, I think this girl knew she was losing the competition. So yeah, I excused myself and I went up to the front and I stood behind the front railing next to the driver again the whole trip home. Now, so I've just met this girl, and so going back, her girlfriend is older. Her girlfriend. Oh, so wait, number seven turns out she's 18 years younger than me, and that was the youngest or the most uh, age difference between myself and some woman that I had ever been involved with in any way. That was brand new for me. But again, I think I mentioned before, the number 18 has become important to me. So age difference is 18 years, and it so happens that it is June 18th as well. Just interesting observation. But her girlfriend's older. Her girlfriend, so I think number seven would have been 35, something like that. Her girlfriend was older. Her girlfriend was like, I don't know, 41, 42, and married. And it was, she would, they both talked to me, but number seven, man, it's funny how these girls flirt and insinuate, but try to cover it up with making it look okay and proper to ask these personal questions. I don't even know if I should get into it. I guess I have to mention this particular piece that I remember just to give you an idea of how the conversation was going. Again, this is a girl who does not know me. We just met that day, and in front of her girlfriend, like just in normal conversation, she's asking me, "Do I watch porn?" And yet it didn't feel like an interrogation. It felt more like what I've learned these girls do. They try to bring up the sensual slash sexual parts, uh, but try to make it appear proper. So I remember that distinctly, and I don't remember too much. I mean, yeah, I was asked about my life, my past, the whole thing. We talked a lot. Anyway, near the end, she must have gotten her girlfriend to get my number, because when we were about to get off the bus, the girlfriend quickly says to me, "Hey, let me have your number so that we can keep in touch in case when we have other events for our church group, other trips or what have you." So I gave her my number, and that's it. We said bye. That was it. I go back to my place, go to sleep. I wake up to texts, and the texts are from number 7. And she's wishing me happy Father's Day because the next day was Sunday, was Father's Day, this, that, and the other. And then later that day she called me, and we just started down the road again. Unlike all the other ones, I was head over heels with this one, for this one, right from the start, and she made sure of that. She hooked me in, reeled me in like a pro. Like flirting the whole time, knew all the right things to say, how to say them, her voice, her tone. It was just, I was done. I was like a hopeless fish flapping at the end of a hook. I remember the first going back to work the next Monday, and she would call, she'd text, and I get up out of my seat and go to the hallway to talk to her, and she was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I just had to talk to you." Like, she said all of the right things about, that she doesn't understand why she likes me so much, and she wants to see me. I don't want to, go over any unnecessary details. I'm not telling a story just to tell a story. I'm trying to make points here. So, but I am going to probably ramble a little bit. So the way this now remember, this is number 7, and I thought that, and I misunderstood, but I didn't understand till later that I misunderstood, much later. I thought number 7 was supposed to be for me. I thought I had been obedient to what God wanted me to do, although I didn't know why I was supposed to go through all those girls. I guess now, like I said, I've learned a lot, and I've grown and matured a lot as a result. There's probably many reasons, and I may never know a lot of them as to why I had to go through that. But I thought number 7 is for me, because I want to get married. I'm tired of being alone, and this girl is beautiful and spicy and flirty, and now I know all the wrong things. So the way this went is she would call me, text me, and just keep me on the hook. But like, if I wanted to initiate something and see her myself on my own terms, there was always something. We did see each other a few times, but it was always on her terms. And yet she was definitely seeking attention. Like, I don't know how much of it was her playing games. I think there was some of that, but I think that she wasn't even conscious. These girls, all of them that I met, that I'm talking about, they have things in common. They are beautiful girls. They're used to getting guys' attention. They know how to do it, and it's second nature to them. They would not be aware, I don't think, to any degree, that they're playing games. To them, that's just how they are. So there's that. I think they're seeking validation as well. They've been hurt. The one thing there was in common with all of them, as I think back, is they were all either getting out of a divorce or some breakup or something like that. So I was like the rebound guy. Another thing that if I look back now, that was in common with all of them, the 7, is that it was definitely about them. It was not about me. It wasn't about even us. It was about them. It was their need for validation and attention. Their ego, I guess, was bruised. Am I still desirable? I don't know why they picked me. That, who knows? But that was a common theme. I'm going to give you some conversations that I kind of remember, just to give you an idea of the level of mind games. I don't know. Is that what I should call it? Um, I remember we had a conversation one night. I happened to be at work late. She called me, and we had a very rocky, whatever you want to call it. It was there was drama. That was one thing. Very rocky, lots of drama. But I don't remember what the conversation didn't go well. We both got upset. We hung up. I drive home, and not a half hour after the first conversation, I get a call. It's her. Voice has totally changed, dripping with honey, very flirtatious sounding voice, and she's making this joke about, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do with you. Like, I don't know, how do we do this? Do you realize that you're 18 years older than me? What are you doing? What are you doing with a girl who's 18 years younger than you? Like, how dare you? But she's saying this in a very flirtatious way. She's not upset. Later on down the road, we had another weird conversation. It was a Saturday. I remember this. Calls me up early Saturday morning. I just got up, and she goes, if I believed in reincarnation, then in our past life, we were husband and wife. And I'm thinking, okay, this is a good thing. She's admitting things here are good. And right after she says that, she says, I've decided we have got to stop this. We've got to stop communicating. We've got to stop seeing each other. We have to end this. I can't do this. I'm being sucked in, and I don't want to do this. And she goes, and I need you to be strong for me and help me to break this off. And something like, if you love me, then you'll help me do this, and we won't see each other again, we won't talk to each other again, and all that. And I was devastated, but I was like, okay. And that was the end of the call. As I went through the rest of that day, depression started to settle in with me, because, again, remember, I was thinking, wow, this is the one. We're supposed to develop a relationship. We're gonna get, this is the one for me. So to hear that, I just didn't know at that moment which way was up, which way was down, what was reality. And then later that day, like a lot later, hours later, I get a text, and she's like, it's from her. What are you doing? Can I call you? I said, okay. She calls me. She sounded like, acted like, and we talked like the conversation of the morning of, we need to forget each other, never, ever happened. That's what that sounded like. Just to give you an idea of the level of, I don't even know what, craziness. So this thing that we had went on for quite some time. This was one of the longest ones. We went all the way through 2012, so I would say almost a year. I saw her, but eventually, I'm pushing for something. Let's have a real relationship here, and I was getting frustrated, and the level of conflicts, or the number of conflicts, talks that we had, got worse, and we would really get upset with each other, and eventually got to where one conversation was so bad that it was over. We were done. And in that moment, I remember not caring. I was so mad at her, and I guess she was mad at me. And we were done. Thank God right before I had mentioned this briefly in a previous video. Right before I met her, I had started taking dance classes, and during my time, right before her and during her, I had gotten good enough where I could go to dance socials, and so I was getting female attention, socialization, just with dancing, and that really helped me a lot because I was very depressed. But the dance part, and I got to the point where I was almost going every night somewhere and spending. I spent tons, an ungodly amount of money back then on gas, food, tickets to the dances, just crazy. But it kept me going. Once, if you want to call it a breakup, once that happened, I really dove in even more to the dancing just to escape how I was feeling. And I guess I was, you want to call it heartbroken, I guess. I was. I really let this girl get into my heart. It got to the point where I had forgotten about, I had forgotten about her. She was out of my life. We were done. I got to the point where it was like, I reconciled within myself that we were done, never to happen again. I didn't look back. So I'm dancing, and I'm at my job, working. I'm at best average at my job because, again, I'm not in a good place emotionally. 6 months. I want to say it was a June as well, 2012. So yeah, that means we didn't go for a year solid. There was that thing happened like a December. I think it was a December of 2011 when the last bad phone call and we ended it. That's when that happened. So June of 2012, I'm at my job. I'm at my desk. My phone rings. I had deleted her number. The way I cope with things is if there's something that's over, I don't keep anything. I get rid of it because I can't. I don't want to see it again. I don't want to see any pictures. I don't want to see any reminders of any kind. So I deleted her number, whatever. But the phone rings, and I pick it up, hello, and it's her. And this mousy, contrite voice, and I can tell now, looking back, she's feeling her way through the phone call. And now, again, looking back, she's trying to start up again because I guess if you watch these videos of relationships and alpha males, beta males, and these women, she wanted to place me in a certain box, a friend zone. But she couldn't get any other guy to talk to her, so she wanted me because she knows I've always been a good listener. And I honestly said at the time, I thought I was being honest. I guess I wasn't with myself. She didn't really ask. So we just came to this understanding that we're friends, and that's it. And this time it was more sporadic, but I was starting. The whole thing started up inside of me again. I realized I had not gotten over her. I was back where I was from before, and then finally we had another explosion down the road, and that was it. The entire time I was praying, reading the Bible, and asking God, did I hear you wrong? What's going on here? I thought this was her, and I would not ever get a clear answer, or so I thought. Or maybe I just wasn't understanding. I should have gotten a clue that in 2013, so now we're 2 years later, it is exactly on my birthday. I haven't heard from this girl since the previous June. So almost a year later, I'm at another job, and I get a call, and it was her, and she is livid. like angry, livid on my birthday. And she's like, how dare I? Something about how dare I uh, call her boss, and inquire about her and this, that, and the other. And I was like, I was at a loss for words. I didn't do that. I don't know where she works. I don't know her boss's number. I don't know anything. And I tried to explain to her that no, she's wrong, but she didn't want to hear it. And she's like, leave me alone, this, that, and the other, and hung up. And I was just like, wow, what just happened? But looking back, I should have taken that as a sign from God saying, Eli, look, it's your birthday. The chances of her calling you on your birthday, the way this conversation has gone, should be enough to let you know she is not the one. But I wasn't clear. I was very conflicted, very confused. So I kept pining for this girl. Anyway, I'm going to bring up some lessons, I think, at this point. Well, I guess some of the things I'd like to say now is number one is it's so sad that I had to learn things by experience. And maybe that's just me. Maybe I don't learn by somebody else's experience. I don't know. But in any case, I never had like a dad who sat me down and talked to me about women, or maybe he couldn't have because women of today are not the women of his era. And so I never had a male mentor who could make me see how the wrong woman behaves and the games they play. The next thing I'd like to say is if a woman is the one going after a man, and I don't care if you think what I'm going to say is outdated, it's a red flag. It is okay, probably necessary, for her to give some indications that she's open or interested in your approach, but to go after a man the way the seven came after me should have been red flags. I should have seen that. I should have recognized that. I think that women who are flirty and what I like to describe as spicy, I now see as a red flag. And it's superficial. There's no depth. There's no foundation of character on which to build a lasting relationship. And it took me meeting the girl of my current relationship and really getting to know her before I had become so aware of all the red flags that I missed in the others. I am going to stop right here and we will continue in the next video.